read the text. Okay, it says, even today, a monarchy can survive being hated or despised, but being the object of ridicule is lethal. However, our laughter ought to be moderated by compassion. The royal family faces an intolerable choice. Were the Queen to say, as Queen Victoria would have said, that the royal accounts were none of the common people's business, she would be excoriated for her arrogance. Yet, when she allowed her courtiers to justify the way in which she spends her money, the myth of monarchy is destroyed. It is absolutely vital that you point out, in this case, the meaning relationships. In this case, the answer is concession. As you can see, fairly simple. It is an actual text. The article was taken from an article appearing in The Guardian, a British newspaper, and it's sort of fairly simple. A bit more complex activity is given by activity 3, where students have to indicate the meaning of the underlined expressions as addition, time, contrast, etc. In a way, this is similar to activity 1, but now it incorporates conjuncts of various meanings. Again, you can ask your students to read the text, and then you take the chance of correcting pronunciation, of teaching vocabulary, and many other elements. I'm going to read it for you this time. The article is taken from The Guardian again, and it was a comment by Paul Davies that appeared in 2002. It's true, men really are from Mars. That was the name of the article, and it's about how life may have originated on planet Earth. Let's read it. Because temperature sharply rises with death, the subterranean microbes tend to be extremely heat tolerant. There is, however, a limit. Estimates suggest that 150 degrees Celsius is probably an upper bound for life as we know it. After Earth formed about 4.5 billion years ago, it remained very hot, both from enhanced radioactivity and the violence of the planet's birth. Temperatures below ground would have been lethal, even for heat-loving microbes. On the other hand, the surface was pretty uncongenial too. Astronomers think that for about 700 million years, a barrage of giant asteroids pounded the planet. The big impacts would have swathed the globe with incandescent rock vapor, boiling the oceans and sterilizing the rock beneath. By contrast, Mars cooled quicker because it is smaller. The comfort zone for deep-living, heat-tolerant microbes would have been deeper sooner. All in all, the red planet offered a more favorable habitat for life during the early history of the solar system. We don't know where life began, but a kilometer or two below the surface of Mars seems a good place. How then did life get from Mars to Earth? The answer is straightforward. The same asteroid impacts that made early life so hazardous also served to splatter vast quantities of Martian rock around the solar system. A fraction of this hits Earth. Indeed, it does so today. So far, a couple of dozen meteorites have been found that can be traced back to Mars. Well, again, as I said before, this is an extract. It is vital, once again, that whenever you do a text like this and you want to insist on the conjuncts, that you make the meaning relationship explicit, the ones that are found within the text. and where the conjuncts, you see, serve a purpose to link those portions. For example, we say, however, in the first case, subterranean microbes tend to be extremely heat tolerant. There is, however, a limit. You see, we know that the expectation we create when we say that microbes are heat tolerant, that there won't be a limit. However, you see, what is the implication there? The implication is one of concession. Well, similarly, we find the meaning relationships of the other conjuncts, and I decided to include them here and to give you the answers. On the other hand, implies contrast. To implies addition. By contrast, well, as the word itself suggests, implies contrast. All in all is summary. Then, in this case, it's result. It may be confused with addition or with time sequence. Even enumeration then can be used for several purposes. But in this specific case, we are using it for result. The answer is how then. You could replace it by how consequently, or how as a result, or how thus, which are other typical conjuncts that express result. Finally, we have also, which also indicates addition. All right, we're going to do the final activity right now. This is the most complex activity of them all. As you can see, it's an activity that is based on an actual text, the whole text. I think it's always better to work with full texts than with just extracts, because that provides and gives you the whole context when you do an activity like this, right? Well, in activity 4, what do we have? We have the following instruction. In the following text, fill in the blanks with the expressions given. In some cases, the same expression may be used more than once, in which case it is indicated in parentheses. We have however, which can be used twice, at any rate, so, which can be used 3 times, though, nonetheless, in fact, meanwhile, on the contrary, yet, actually, ultimately, and also. Well, the conjuncts have been extracted from an authentic text that appeared in The Guardian in the year 2001, if I don't recall, if I recall, yes, 2001, and it's a text that is an irony about the attacks, not about the attacks, but an irony about the reaction of the United States about the September 11th attacks in New York. It's criticizing the reaction that the United States had after those events. The text is called A Letter from America, and it's subdivided into 2 letters. It's actually an opinion column. It's not a letter. It's an opinion column that is, you see, that is based on 2 letters. 2 letters that supposedly the United States of America wrote to a foreign policy therapist so that they could help the United States to work out the problems they had with global terrorism. We're going to read first the letter, and then the answer. But when we read the letter, we're going to also provide the answers to the missing conjuncts that do not appear there. Let's read the text. A letter from America. The United States is in denial about why so many millions in the world are regarded as their enemy. Wallace Shaw, Monday, December 3rd, 2001, The Guardian. The letter. Dear Foreign Policy Therapist, I don't know what to do. I want to be safe. I want safety.